Now, what I love about fishing with paddle tails, in today's case, the Hogy Protail Paddle, is how easy they are to fish. So this lure is even fishing on its way down. The whole time down, that paddle's thumping. So what I want to do when I'm letting this out is I want to pay careful attention. So if this thing stops before I think it should hit bottom, that means there's a tuna coming from below, grabbing it, maybe still has forward momentum, carrying the line up. So it'll feel an awful lot like hitting bottom. So if that happens, you just want to stop and reel down, come tight, the rod will bend over on a fish. Happens more than you would think. In fact, I would say 30% of the fish I catch on a paddle are on the actual drop. Because remember, that tail's swimming along. So, but anyway, we're gonna let this lure down. It's swimming on the way down. We're marking fish in between 50 and 60 feet of water. So what I'm gonna do, we're in about 155, 157 at the moment. I'm gonna let it down to about 100 feet, even though I see the targets at 55, say. So I'm gonna go under these fish, put it in gear, and just slow reel this right into the zone. Now that bait's gonna swim on its way back up. Now, this is where I'm gonna switch to slow jigging. So before I was doing the drop and reel, now I'm doing slow jigging. I'm just lifting that tip up. I can feel that lure paddle on the way up. Then I escort the lure down. I can feel the lure swimming on its way down. The reason why I said escort is I want to drop the rod at about the same speed, or maybe not quite, as that lure is sinking, so I can stay in contact and feel it the entire time. I don't want to feel any slack on the fall because that's going to lose my sensitivity with the fish. When I'm using paddle tails, I'm pretty much either fishing the entire level of the water column, letting it swim up and down, or I'm pinpoint targeting a specific depth. So today we're pretty much doing the pinpoint targeting, but making sure to, just double check all levels of the water column. All our hits, all our fish have been in that, 50, 60 foot range. Another fish on. So Dave, watch what I'm doing. Lots of short pumps where I'm getting one crank at a time. And this really tires the fish out. Doesn't feel like you're doing much, but these are high gear ratio reels. So one crank, the gear ratio on these are 6-to-1. So one full turn of the handle is 6 revolutions of the spool. And so as the fish gets closer, there's more and more line on the reel. The diameter increases, in which case obviously the circumference increases. So these short little cranks really get the fish in quick. It's hard to beat this slow jigging technique. Been getting these lazy targets, just dropping these baits. I'm losing my voice, I'm tired. Just dropping these baits right on their heads. Works like a charm. These fish are the perfect size. One for the table. And we're gonna release the fish from here on out. What a day. Had great light tackle tuna fishing. Got a first time tuna catch on board today. That's always awesome. Another addicted individual to the sport. Just trying to keep that fish off the boat. Put my gloves on. I'm getting color here. Sometimes they swing and they miss and they still get caught. Now, we had a fish in the box and we were hoping to release anyone we got. Having a de-hooker tool makes releasing any fish, especially one hooked on the underside, an easy pop and release. It's hard to get a film of that because it all happens so quickly, but easy, safe, happy release. That fish is gonna live to fight another day. So here's the outfit we're using today. This is the Hogy Hybrid Conventional Rod paired with an Avid LX 6.2. Now the 2 stands for 2-speed. Now in high speed mode, this gear ratio is 6-to-1. So that means every time I crank the handle, one crank, the spool's gonna go 6 revolutions around. Now that's very important because if the fish, like it did today, swam at us, that high gear ratio is going to allow you to collect line very quickly to stay in contact with the fish. Now in low speed, that's a 3 gear ratio, so one crank, that's 3 revolutions of the spool. Now that's better when you're cranking down a real heavy fish, a real heavy load. I like that setting pretty much on this outfit for checking directional or any kind of bird bar. It's just easier to get in. It's also a great setting if you have kiddos on the boat as well. But for this purpose, we pretty much live in the high speed mode, the 6-to-1 gear ratio. And as you can see, this is a small reel. It's very compact. Now, the reason why we call this rod a hybrid rod is it's effectively a light duty offshore rod and a heavy duty inshore rod. Now, this is actually the first rod that I designed for Hogy Lure Company, and might still, well, it's hard to say, I don't have a favorite, but it's the rod that I think we have the most videos with because we've trolled tube and worm with it, jigged cod, jigged sea bass. Here we are jigging tuna, we've trolled tuna. It's a very versatile rod. Now, it's a very soft, very parabolic rod. And so the reason why I like this particular reel on this particular rod is I can do all the stuff, the inshore, the offshore, in today's case, light tackle tuna jigging. Now, it's very light, so if you're jigging all day, the bite's been a little slow, it took us a bit to crack the code. It's a lightweight outfit, so you can jig this all day without getting tired. And it goes as high as 16 ounce with big sand eel jigs, or as light as 4 or 5 ounce like we're doing now. The rod somehow manages to fish a very wide range like this. It's a very soft parabolic rod. You can see how much bend I can put in it without a lot of pressure. And this makes it a very happy and fun rod to fight a fish with. And there's some glass woven into the rod, so it's very soft, very forgiving, but you can see it quickly goes into backbone mode on that first guide, into the second guide from the reel forward. It's got an extended cork grip, so it's easy. You can fish it under your arm, control with it, just very lightweight, very easy. Well, we got what we came for. We got my friend Dave's very first bluefin tuna, or any kind of tuna for that matter. We've got dinner. We're home in time to be responsible husbands, and it's been flat calm. This is what I would call a perfect day. It honestly doesn't get much better than this.